This is Eddie Cologne, EC Details, and in this video, I want to walk you through how I use Jobber in my business to capture leads, send quotes, and also the invoicing part of it. Jobber is the CRM we've been using for our detailing business for over a year now. I have it set up in such a way that it makes receiving a request, sending a quote, taking photos before I get through the job, and also invoicing the customer all in the app. And I am going to walk you through end to end how to do that. Here at EC Details, I employ myself and my two daughters who are my employees, and I've been using this to leverage everything from end to end for the last year, and I have been loving it. I'm gonna walk you through my workflow inside of Jobber end to end. I'm gonna teach you how to set up the request form, which is important for us because we use that for everything. I think that has been the biggest game changer for me is the request form. When the user goes onto my site, they click on a link, it tells them, give me your information. I'm able to save that information, use that information for marketing, but also follow up with a quote. I'm going to teach you how to quote them. I'm going to teach you how to book the job and add to the job, the before form, ingest form. I'm going to teach you all that inside of Jobber. Right now, if you're following and if you want to follow along, you can click on the link in the description below for a 14-day trial of Jobber and a special discount for you. And let's get rolling. I'm excited to show you this. So Jobber, when I started, at first, it was a little cumbersome to understand because I was so used to something else. I do want to say it's easy, end to end, how to set it up. Let's go on the back end of Jobber here, and we're going to switch this screen and show you what I'm the job back in the job. I'm going to walk you through a few things that's important to me as a business and what I use here, and get you to the point where you can gather information, create a quote, do the job, send an invoice, and then ask for a review. I think those are very important, especially in the business we're in. Gathering information is key. Sending information to your customers so they feel like they're part of the process is key. And then thirdly, is always asking for a review. Jobber makes it all easy to do all that. And I'll walk you through here. So when you go into the Jobber screen, you want to go to the back end. And the back end of this, you want to hit settings. Settings is going to greet you with everything you have as a company. And these are my company settings here, hours of operation, etc. In the left hand side of this, you have requests and bookings. We're going to go through how to gather information so you understand. And I want to walk you through my request form. So I have one request form that's on my site right now. And this is what it looks like. The request form makes it easy, super easy for me to come in, gather first name, last name, if they are a company, because I get some, federal companies that use my services. And then this is where it's impactful. I never go to their house, so this doesn't matter. I could probably remove this. Didn't think about that next time. And then I ask for the type of service they want. And I ask what type of interior. That's important when I'm quoting things of that nature. And they could put information in this box. What I know right away is when the user goes onto my website and does this request form and they submit it, I know what to quote them and what to ask them. And it's just very well done. So when I get a request from a customer here and I come down and say, this is a request, I already know the interior detail. I already know they have a fabric. I already know the year. And then I have photos that I have them attached to this request. Now, my client here submitted a request and they want to do an interior detail. And I'm going to walk you through that end to end. When I get the request form is gathered like this. And you know what? Let me just create one here so you have that information, a request form, because I think that's imperative. On the left-hand side, you got to go to the home screen. The home screen tells you request form right away. I have it here. This is a fake person. I'm just walking you through the kind of information that I get and why this is important end to end. At this screen right here, I have a few options that I could do. I could go to more, and the more drop down gives me to convert a quote, to convert to a job. I could print it. I could schedule an assessment to have them come to my house. But typically, what I like to do is I look here, and if I don't see photos, I typically ask for the photos. But then I come here and I go to convert to a quote. And I have a couple of things. You could set up a template or you could add a new quote. Setting up a template is pretty easy, but we'll go through that later. I create a new quote here and I have my packages. I like to give the quote a title. So ceramic coating um, and paint correction. This is how easy it is. You can actually do this on your phone, tablet, whatever. It doesn't have to be on a desktop. It's as easy as you see it here. It's as easy as it is inside of the app itself. I go to, they want a level 3 package. I usually don't put a price here because I know off the top of my head, they have a Honda Accord. I'm going to charge them $999. That's with anything like that. And this is where this thing is insane. Okay. I always require deposit. Always. You're like, why? Because I want them to commit to seeing me. Because typically clients or customers come in, they don't really follow through, and you have a struggle with Jobber. I could take money up front, and this deposit is non-refundable. You either use me or you don't. You're committing to it. So I go here, I go to deposit only. I put a percentage. I typically like for ceramic coatings do anywhere from 100 to $150. I'll put 100 here. They pay the deposit up front. I always click these and leave it on. And what's the cool thing about Jobber is I could send a client a message, and the message is very clear. The client sees it. Hey, I want to thank you for your business. Uh, is a quote. Now, I'm not very well at writing. Jabber gives you this function here with AI. It cleans it up for you. I save and send quote. Now, this would get sent to the customer. The cool thing about this is the customer right away gets to see the quote on their end, gets to accept it, gets to review it. But it shows me here what I could do. I could add a note here. I could rewrite it. It sends them the text, and the text gets sent to them. If you feel like you got a wrong number, I'll put mine here. So it goes in my cell phone number. So I'm not doing some fake. Hit send, and the quote was sent successfully. At that time, the client has a choice to go in and select from their screen. They have a choice to select a quote. They could approve it. Once they approve it, I can now take this quote and convert it to a job. So I collect the deposit. I sent the quote. I sent the deposit. I got a deposit. I just got the quote on my screen here. It takes them to the back end of Jobber, and I'm going to show you this right here, what the customer sees, because I think that's important. Um, Takes them to this screen. Now, this is what's the beautiful thing about Jobber, and a lot of other platforms don't offer this, is I now have a back end for my customer to go in and see it. If I want to print this off because my spouse needs to see it, I could print the PDF off. I could see the deposit. I could review. I could request a change as the customer. I could look at my appointment date so I know what I have coming up. I could check my invoices. They could call me. All this is tied into Jobber itself, and it's a elegant solution for your customer, and it's freaking insane. What other platform offers you the ability for your customer to have their own portal? Request sent on this date. These are the quotes submitted. This is the total. This is my deposit. These are the appointments. So it gives the customer onus when they're recording, doing a request, and it feels like a real professional setup end to end. And this is the beautiful part about Jobber. Now, once the customer accepts the quote, it's gonna take me. I'll go in and I'll collect the payment here. Just gonna throw my stuff off, and I'll just put cash just so you have it. And I hit save and send. Once we get that, I can now create a job, and that job becomes a job here. And I'll just do this for the sake of brevity. And my lead here, I have a schedule. Just say the schedule is going to be for 10 a.m. I could click the calendar 10, and I know it's going to be until the next day. So I usually, add it or add arrival window, and I just hit save job. And then once I go there, I could text my customer the booking information. Now they have it, and their back end, the information that I just showed you is there. So once I see that, I could go here, I could go to my jobs, I could see I see my jobs that I have going on. We actually have an interior today, interior tomorrow. I could click on this job, and this is the other piece of the job that I want to show you. So I walked you through the phenomenal part of quoting, of getting a request, of quoting, coming in now, having the job set up. I have the booking, and here's what's cool about this job. When I start the job and I go to start it on my app, it gives me. I got to put a line item here: ceramic coating. Let's do 5 year, $1,000. Uh, uh, 999. Sorry, I should have done this. And then save. Once I do this and I start the job and I go here, the job itself would give me the opportunity to do two things. I have a request form. So the before the visit, I do this on my phone, and this one right here.
is when I go to this form, I take photos of the before, I take photos of the after, and I send the photos. I'm gonna walk through a client here where I did their job. So I'll look at the schedule here. I have a few jobs pending. We'll go here, and I have a couple interior details I'm gonna show you, and we're working on this job right here. This form is very important for us because it captures data. So I have this job here, and you could put multiple jobs and break it down by car because I have a car back to back, and I have a job form here. And what this job form does, it allows me to have photos. Now you're protecting yourself as a customer. Your customer sees the work that you've done. You could go back and talk to notes. You can actually send this to your customer and they have it. All this is done in the job, and I have this automatically being added. So once the job is complete, I can now invoice the customer complete. Once I do this, I can say the job is complete and accept payment. So on the bottom shelf here, you said create invoice. This allows Jobber to create the invoice for both the cars. And once I have the invoice, I'm able to send that to my customer. And invoices is as easy as that. I can send it via email where it created the invoice successfully. Here is what the invoice looks like. I could go to more. I could resend the invoice. I could print. It tells me everything I have here. This is the invoice. It's the invoice amount that they see. For those of you wondering what the invoice looks like from a customer's perspective, I want to show you this. When you set up Jobber correctly, you get your information here as the business. Everything's clickable. So they can email you here. They tell you the invoice number, the amount paid, and the services rendered. And they could have this invoice for the record. I'm just showing you that. From the Jobber end perspective, I send them the invoice via email and they could pay with credit card, they could pay with things of that nature. And it says send text here. And they'll send a text. It also offers an ability to tip. So here's what the invoice looks like, and I want to walk you through this. So as you generate the invoice, you get a couple of things here that you can modify. So when you hit this pencil, I don't do net 30. I get paid upon receipt. You can set this up to ask for a review here, and you hit save, and it saves that for you. So right now, invoice has been generated. I have not sent it to be paid yet because we're not done with the job yet. But you see, I have on the right hand side, it tells you what we have available. I don't do partial payments, I do everything up front, but you have that ability. When I go to send text, it will send the invoice and it will send it to the phone number attached to the job. I could go here, I could email it. So it gives me the option to either email or send it, and then they pay. The cool thing about the invoicing is that it always saves a record for them. And on the back end, they're able to do that. And you can leave a note here and tell your customer, I want to thank you so much for the opportunity to allow us to use our services. But this is how easy it is from a job perspective to request information on your website, to get a quote, to book the job, to go in and get paid for the job. All that is encapsulated text less than 10 minutes. And the cool thing about this is Jobber on the left hand side gives you a record of all your clients here. So you have all your client records. It gives you all your requests up front, what your close rate is, all the quotes that you sent out. And the cool thing about this is it allows you to, it says it's waiting for all these quotes to generate. And then you know what Jobber does that's nutty? I think it's the nuttiest thing in the world. It sends you or sends your customer an update for the quotes that were sent. Meaning, hey, you didn't send this quote. You didn't send this quote. Hey, you didn't review. You didn't accept it. That's the craziest part about Jobber, and I love it about that. And the next thing I think that is important is reviews. As a business, you should always want to grow your platform through reviews. Jobber makes it super easy to have reviews done on your business. Since I started with Jobber here, my reviews have grown. I'm getting more conversion rate for reviews. I have a lot of customers here leaving reviews, and all this is done pretty simple. So if you're new and you're wanting to follow along, like I said, links in the description below gives you a 14-day trial and an amazing discount with Jobber. I found this to be the platform of my choice for these reasons, and I hope you find it easy for you.
There you have it. I got to show you how to how to create a request form. I got to show you how to create a quote. I got to show you invoicing, scheduling a job. I got to show you what the customer sees. It's just an overall amazing experience from end to end, from you as a user and using this platform to your customer receiving the service. They get the same type of feel you do, and they get to be updated. They get to see the stuff you did before, the stuff you did after. And then I think that's what makes Jobber such a great CRM for me and my business. With that, remember in the description below, you get a 14-day free trial plus a discount. You can follow along and test it yourself. But I'm going to tell you right now, Jobber is an absolute banger of a product, and I have grown to love it and use it. And it's one of those tools that I think would benefit anyone. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you want to see anything else from Jobber, I could stay on this topic forever. I mean, it's vast. I can make it do things that you're like, oh, that's nuts. Especially the AI receptionist and receiving a review. All of that tied into this platform is what makes it one of the best, if not the best, in the business. I'm out.